Hi, I'm here today to just share some helpful information. I hope it's helpful for organizing our essays, some information about thesis statements. I kind of just want to walk you through the resources I'm going to put on an announcement for session 2. So when you look at this week's announcement, you're going to see some resources explaining how to use commas. I've had many students through the years tell me that's really helpful information, so I hope you find it helpful as well. You're also going to find a resource that explains how to make corrections to sentence errors, like fragment sentences or incomplete sentences, as well as run-ons and comma splice errors. So you're going to see that. But the one I want to share with you and sort of talk you through is going to be called essay format. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through that one. So again, this is just intended to be a helpful resource. There are lots of ways to write a paper. This is one way, okay? And this is one way to think about how to organize your thoughts, okay? So the first is the diagram of the essay. You're going to begin with the introduction, which includes your thesis statement, and it may preview your main points. And really, your thesis needs to be the last sentence of the introduction. You're going to have 3 body paragraphs, and each one should have a topic sentence, specific evidence, including research, examples, anecdotes. The more specific you are, the more you help your reader understand your point. And then you need a conclusion, which is a summary and a restatement of what you said in the beginning. Okay, so let's talk about the introduction. You want it to have a good lead-in or a good hook or attention getter, and then your thesis should be the last sentence. So types of lead-ins or hooks you can use. You can share something intriguing, something shocking, a quotation from an authority or a historical figure, some kind of relevant story or joke. Of course, for academic assignments, I would use jokes sparingly. Some kind of description, factual statement, analogy, personal experience, really the list goes on, but you want to grab your reader somehow, right? And you really don't want to just preview everything you're going to say in the paper. You want to hook your reader by giving them something interesting and then sort of move down to your thesis, okay? So I want to talk about the working thesis. Again, students in the past have found this really helpful, so that's why I want to share it with you. A working thesis is really the topic plus your opinion or position on the topic, okay? So you review the prompt. You ask, what is the topic or the main point of this prompt? Sometimes it helps to even circle keywords. And then what is my opinion or position on this topic, okay? So then you work on your working thesis. So I've kind of put together a little example, kind of goes with this week. What are the best strategies for avoiding plagiarism? If that were our prompt, I would look at that and I would say, what is this prompt asking? Well, it's asking for strategies to avoid plagiarism. So that's really my topic, strategies to avoid plagiarism. And my opinion might be something like taking careful notes, reviewing how to cite sources, and planning to make sure I have time to do the research. Which means my working thesis might be something like the following. I think the best strategies for avoiding plagiarism include taking careful notes, reviewing APA citation requirements, and making sure I have time to do the work. Now, it's a working thesis because it's still a work in progress. Right now, I feel like that's kind of wordy, and I definitely want to take out that I think statement. So I'm going to show you how that would look. When we move from that working thesis to the final thesis, it might look more like this. Take off the I think, and your thesis might look something like, the best strategies for avoiding plagiarism include taking notes, using citation tools, and planning ahead for research. Now I've taken a stand on the prompt, right? I've owned the idea, or I'm making an argument that I think these are the best strategies. Other people might have different strategies, but these are the ones that I think are helpful, right? So when I take off the I think, I now have a clear, persuasive statement, and I have previewed the main points I'm going to talk about in this essay. I'm probably going to have a body paragraph about taking notes, a body paragraph about using citation tools, and a body paragraph about planning ahead to make sure I have time for research. So when you write a thesis, you want it to be clear, limited, and interesting. Avoid making announcements. You don't want to say this paper will be about, okay? You want to avoid statements that are too broad, like plagiarism is wrong or saving money is important, right? And you want to avoid statements that are too narrow, like you avoid plagiarism by following this guideline from this book, okay? Or I like using the saving money tips from Wells Fargo Bank. Those are too narrow. You want to make sure that you're developing one overall idea, but that you leave room to talk about your perspective and integrate research, okay? I'm just going to quickly kind of go through this. The body is the middle of the essay. Each body paragraph should develop one main point connected to the thesis. It should have a topic sentence, supporting evidence, and a concluding sentence. And I understand the directions for this week talked about how you want the concluding sentence to lead into your next topic. I would really encourage you to avoid trying to preview what the next topic is going to be about. Instead, bring your paragraph to a satisfying close by just reviewing that topic sentence and letting your reader know, okay, that topic is finished. And then you move on with transitional words or phrases in the next topic sentence. So if we're talking about plagiarism, we might say something like, first, you practice note-taking strategies. Then you get to the end and you say something like, note-taking strategies are one of the keys to avoiding plagiarism. Second, it's a good idea to use the citation tools, okay? And then you're going to talk about the different resources for how to cite. That is probably the best way to transition, okay? So I'm going to skip through a little bit of this. I'm going to post this whole presentation, okay, so that you can look through it and make sure that you understand it. But let's just talk for a second about conclusions. A conclusion is a satisfying close, and it's your last chance to sort of persuade your reader or convince your reader. You can summarize your thesis and major points, evaluate the importance of your essay's subject, and then talk about maybe the broader implications of what you've discussed. Okay, so if the whole essay were about plagiarism, you might talk about, what some of you have already put in the discussion about how it's a way for us to honor the Lord in how we write and that we show integrity. Okay, so these are just some of the things that I wanted to share with you. Again, please be looking for the information on our announcement. So over here under my announcements, you're going to see one that says, I guess if you're watching this, you've already seen it, but make sure that you read carefully all of the announcements I post, because that's where you'll see the information that I'm trying to use to help facilitate more information for the class. But you're off to a great start. Please contact me if you have questions. Thanks. Bye.